Kyodo News English World。
皆さんこんにちは。こちらは共同通信英文記者のポッドキャストです。英文記者は国内外で起きている出来事について取材してオリジナルの英文記事を発信したり、日本語のニュースを英語に翻訳したりしています。共同通信の英語の記事をテーマに、いろんな国から集まる仲間たちと英語と日本語を交えていろいろディスカッションしていけたらと思っています。今日は3人の記者でお届けします。Hello everyone, my name is Toma and I've been at Kyodo News for about 6 years now. I am a massive bookworm and today I would like to recommend the non-fiction book I'm Sorry I'm Late, I Didn't Want to Come by Jessica Pan. よろしくお願いします。
That sounds like a very interesting book title. Hi there, everyone. My name is Eduardo Martinez, and I've been here at Kyodo News for over 3 years now. I'm originally from Brisbane, Australia. Nice to meet you all.
Hi there, my name is Peter Mashter. I'm a staff writer at Kyodo News. I've worked here for about 3 years now. Thank you very much.
So for today's episode, we will be discussing an article about how the lack of trash cans are considered a major inconvenience for overseas visitors who come to Japan.Ed, can you read the title for us, please?
Sure. Visitors to Japan most frustrated with lack of trash bins. Survey.
ありがとうございます。訪日客の困りごととして、ゴミ箱の少なさが一番多く課題として挙げられているという記事ですね。では、最初の2パラをお願いします。
はい。Visitors to Japan have cited the lack of trash bins in public areas, including at train stations, as the biggest inconvenience during their trip, a recent government survey showed. According to the Japan Tourism Agency, the issue was cited by 21.9% of over 4,000 foreign travelers surveyed at 5 major airports in the country as their top concern.
この観光庁の2024年度アンケートによると、回答者の約 22% がゴミ箱が少ないと感じたという結果が出ました。で、前年度と比べると8ポイント改善したということなんですけれども、それでも訪日客増加に伴い各地でゴミ放置が課題となっているそうです。Well, I guess the first question that personally springs to mind is, why are there so few trash bins in Japan?Well,
yeah, it appears, according to the article, that a lot of trash bins have been removed given terror attacks in recent years or in the past. So there were the 1995 Tokyo subway sarin gas attacks, which took place on the metro here. And then also there have been international incidences as well. So the 2005 Madrid train bombings were also cited as reasons for removing trash cans. So, you could easily place a bomb inside a trash can or something dangerous.like that in one, so that seems to be the main cause for why there's so few.
My perception also is that the number of trash cans seems to have further reduced since the coronavirus pandemic. I think that would be fair to say.
Particularly I felt that as well, yeah.
Particularly in places like stations, because I suppose from a virus point of view, if people are throwing away masks or other things that they've used to catch pathogens, and those are all sitting there in a trash can,
like contaminated materials.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah.
So you mentioned that you feel like there's even fewer trash cans these days, but what effects have their lack had?
I wonder if there have been, personally, because I find myself and a lot of people, like foreign visitors, comment that Japan is so clean. So is there really a negative impact to having no trash cans? Because I guess a lot of people in Japan are accustomed to taking their trash home. So this is a quite widely known thing here. I personally don't see a terribly negative impact of there being a lack of trash cans, but what about you guys? How do you perceive it?
I think that's what's interesting about the survey is that it reveals on the one hand from an emotional or from a convenience level it is convenient or annoying to have to take your trash home, which I think everyone in this room has experienced at some point.
Yep.
I mean, who hasn't made an impulse vending machine buy or whatever and then spent the rest of the day carrying around an empty plastic bottle?
Yeah.
It's really annoying. But yeah, as you say, the contradiction is that one of the things that Japan is often praised for by people who visit here is that Japan is very, very clean. So it's not a case that we're not talking about if you have more trash cans, then we can solve all of this trash issue. It's actually that without trash cans, curiously, people take their trash home.
That being said, I do feel like you mentioned how you make an impulse buy purchase at a vending machine. And some vending machines have trash cans for cans and plastic bottles.
Specifically for the drink bottles, right?
But then you see people...
putting other kinds of trash there, yes.
yeah, you see a lot of different types of trash in there because of the lack of. So in that sense, I do feel like, it doesn't look nice, and also it can be very arduous for the people who are cleaning up, because then they have to sort out the trash that isn't recycling. So in this sense, I do feel that the effects that the lack of trash cans have had also does equal more littering in a sense.
I don't know. I think about, like, from a cultural perspective, people from Japan, if I could be generalistic, tend to clean up after themselves more often. And an example I would point to for that is that Japanese soccer fans tend to be praised when World Cups come around for cleaning up after themselves.
Quite famously, right?
Yeah. So
There are articles about that, yeah.
Yes.
And Instagram posts. And,
Yes, that is viral content. But
it is. Yeah.
But so I think there's a cultural element to it, certainly. I mean, I'm not Japanese, I don't know, but...
I think even what you just mentioned before, Thomas, you were saying that some people put different kinds of trash in the can specifically for drinks. You mentioned that it was inconsiderate for the people that have to clean up that trash. So that might say something to the mindset that a lot of Japanese people have. It's like, I don't want to put this trash where it doesn't belong, so I'm going to hang on to it. Of course, not everyone might like adhere to those cultural norms, but it seems as though the majority of people are.
Yeah. So it's kind of don't want to be an inconvenience.
Right.
Yeah.
So what experiences have you guys personally had?
I've certainly been annoyed before about there not being a trash can around. And like Peter said, carrying around my trash everywhere until I do find a rare trash bin somewhere. I've noticed that they are very rare, with the exception, I guess, one being in Tokyo of Yoyogi Park. I think because it's such such a big park, and it's known for being a place where people host picnics. So they'll bring a lot of their own food and drinks. That park specifically does have like a lot of trash cans and places to sort rubbish for. But I think it's only one of a handful I can think of at the top of my head that has facilities like that.
Well, as I said earlier, and I agree with Ed, I find it annoying sometimes to have to take stuff home with me. But I also think of that as an extension of just how precise separating your trash in this country can be on a domestic level at home, and the pressure to get that right.
The practice of trash sorting here is a lot more elaborate compared to other countries. Like in Australia, for example, you just have general trash and recycling. Whereas in Japan, you have dispose of different trash on different days.
Yeah.
It's categorized into several other, like more than two categories.
Yes.
Yeah. And also depends on the district or ward where you live, on which days you have to take trash out. What is the trash bin situation like in the UK?
You mean like out and about in the street? Are there trash bins in the street? In the United Kingdom, in London, where I'm from, it is quite difficult to find trash cans at stations, which itself is similar to what we were talking about earlier, the consequence of security, the consequence of vigilance against terrorist attacks. Because in the UK, particularly in the 1980s, the Irish Republican Army used to conduct terrorist attacks. And so as a consequence of that, there are fewer trash cans. Although I would say there are definitely more than in Japan. But that doesn't mean that things are cleaner.
Right. That's a very interesting thing to point out, because in Australia, I mean, I think Australia is a generally clean country, though Japan is definitely on another level. But yes, we have public trash cans in, like, the city centre and everything in Brisbane, where I'm from, but some people just don't put them in there, and it's still dirty. So it's a very interesting Japan-specific phenomenon, I think.
ではそろそろ時間になってきました。共同通信では共同ニュースプラスというサイトで日本や世界で起きた出来事について英語のニュースを発信しています。今日ご紹介した記事も掲載されていますので、ぜひチェックしてみてください。それでは皆さん、
See you next time!